My name's Chandler Copenhaver. I am an actor as well as do a lot of business consulting, run a small business. Recently we were planning a trip and we were going to go about 6 hours away from home, and I knew that the spare tire that we had in our minivan had actually been destroyed in a previous experience, so we knew we needed to have a backup plan in the event that we lost our tire on the road. I gave the team at Modern Spare a call. They hooked us up with a spare tire in a kit. I was actually pretty impressed with how well put together it was. It had all of the tools that I needed in order to put it together, and we were able to take it with us on the trip. We actually didn't need it on the trip. Thankfully, we had a pretty smooth ride. But when I got home, like 3 days after being home from the big trip, is when we actually had the tire go out. And thankfully I already had one on hand. It happened to be raining super hard and like a whole bunch of problems, and so we were able to put the tire on. What was nice is that it was going to be a little while before I was going to be able to go and get the tire repaired. It was a weekend and the stores weren't open, and so I was actually able to use the spare tire, to use the Modern Spare in order to drive around, pick up the kids, do my day-to-day activities without a problem. Most spare tires, you feel it. You can tell that there's something going on, and you're leaning to one side. You're kind of cautious about how you drive because you don't know if it's going to last to the next destination. But when I put on the Modern Spare, like we had smooth sailing, and it went really great. I was able to actually drive on it for 2 or 3 days, and then eventually, got the original tire repaired. Would have kept the Modern Spare on, except that, figure out we might need it again in the future. When you have a spare tire, you want to be able to rely on the fact that not only can you put it on and that it will be reliable as you drive, but you really want to be able to be confident that you can get it on really smoothly. And that was something that I found extremely useful. We were able to open up the kit. As I said, it's really nicely packaged. When we actually needed it and pulled it out, I was a little worried that I was hoping there would be, all that I needed. You need a good, reliable jack that is easy to use to get the car up. And yeah, it was awesome. Like, we were able to get it up and under the car really easily. And the ratchet system and the jack system seemed pretty amazing. Like, the way it was built was unique. In fact, it was easier than other things that I've used that I have just in the garage or that, back home. It was an easier experience using what was in the kit. Most of the spare tires that I've used in the past, pretty frail. They felt like I could accidentally break it. When I opened the Modern Spare pack open and saw the actual tire, I was really surprised that not only was it not just a tiny little tire, the original experiences I've had in the past, it felt like putting a bike tire on a vehicle, and that feels a little sketchy, a little problematic, but it had a really good experience. Not only is it really good looking, I mean, the tire looks like a full normal tire, and even the rim looks really nice. It doesn't look like I'm putting on some sort of a used piece of metal on the vehicle, which is why I felt really comfortable even just driving with it. In fact, it looked better because it was brand new and clean, and also that gunmetal. It looked even better than the other tires on the vehicle with being dirty and sort of run down. Whether my family and I are driving around town or we are planning a long trip, it was really reassuring to know that we would be able to take care of the emergencies or the things that might happen as we're going about. I think that things are put together in such a way, or the items that are provided by default in the manufacturers, that the vehicles that we buy, a lot of them are of low quality. They're just trying to get the job done. They've just barely passed that bar. It's not really enough, especially when you're trying to take care of your family. You're trying to get safely to your destination, and so it was definitely worth the effort and the time to pursue getting a Modern Spare. It allowed us to have a lot more confidence, and we felt a lot more stable and secure, knowing that not only do we have it if we need it, but once it was on, that we could rely upon it, not even just for the short term, but on the long term as well.